A massive solar farm is coming to Chino Hills. Yep, that's what residents were hearing about a large plot of land between Chino Hills and Diamond Bar, up until a landmark deal between Diamond Bar, Chino Hills, and the City of Industry in 2019. Welcome back to Chino and the Hills Secrets Exposed. Hi, I'm your host, Thomas Ryan, and today I'm gonna take you back on a little history tour as well as a present day tour of the Tres Hermanos Ranch. So the history of Tres Hermanos Ranch goes way back before it even became a ranch in the 1910s. Even though indigenous people didn't actually live on the ranch, they relied on the plants and animals in the area for their villages, which are now the cities of Chino, Pomona, and Puente. During the Spanish and Mexican periods, this land was public and used for grazing by the Mission San Gabriel. Later, it became part of private ranches. One notable ranch was Los Nogales, granted in 1840 to José de la Luz Linares. Eventually, Los Nogales expanded to include what we now know as Tres Hermanos Ranch, owned by the prominent Vejar family from Pomona. In the 1870s, a bunch of Anglo owners came into the picture, including Wilson Beach, George Butler, Charles Wright, and Sedgwick and Jane Lynch. Jane Lynch and Wright used the ranch primarily for raising livestock well into the 20th century. Then in 1907, Pittsburgh capitalist Walter F. Fundenberg bought Los Nogales, dreaming of striking oil. Unfortunately, when those dreams didn't pan out, the land was divided into two parts in the 1910s. Frederick F. Lewis, another Eastern transplant, took over the western part and established Diamond Bar Ranch, which eventually became the foundation for the city of Diamond Bar. Now, the eastern side has a pretty cool story. It was bought by three local guys who called themselves, you guessed it, Tres Hermanos, or Three Brothers. These guys were Harry Chandler, the Los Angeles Times publisher and real estate developer, oilman William B. Scott, and former Los Angeles County Sheriff and oil developer William R. Rowland. They not only used the ranch to raise cattle, but also as a retreat and party location for their friends and family. Scott passed away a few years later, and Rowland followed in the mid-1920s. Despite their passing, Scott's children, along with Chandler and his descendants, kept their interest in the ranch. Fast forward to 1978, and Tres Hermanos Ranch was sold to the City of Industry. Over the years, there were various development proposals, such as the solar farm that I referenced earlier on in the video. However, a landmark deal in 2019 brought the cities of Diamond Bar and Chino Hills together with industry to form the Tres Hermanos Conservation Authority. On March 27, 2019, a press conference was held to recognize this conservation authority with representatives from each of the three cities in attendance. Under the amended JPA, this new conservation authority will have a 7-member governing board with seats filled by 2 Diamond Bar council members, 2 Chino Hills council members, and 3 industry council members. Now that you're up to speed on the history of Tres Hermanos Ranch, guess what? These 3 cities have banded together and are offering tours of the ranch for residents to see in person. Back in the fall of 2023, the Conservation Authority announced that they would be offering tours of Tres Hermanos Ranch. I quickly signed up along with 500 plus other interested residents for the tour. They did the initial tour, and the remaining people were placed on a wait list, myself being one of them. Well, come May 2024, I was selected to join on the June tour of Tres Hermanos Ranch. I quickly confirmed my reservation, and here we are today. Let's take a look at how the tour went down. The approximate 90-minute tour of the property, which is in Chino Hills and Diamond Bar, began at 9 a.m. and we traveled to the ranch via shuttle bus, accompanied by our guide, Chino Hills City Manager Benjamin Montgomery, who provided details about the history of the property from its origin to its present-day operation. The tour consisted of 3 designated stops where we all departed the shuttle to listen to a presentation from an expert at the Arnold Reservoir, barn building, and the majestic oak tree. First up was the Arnold Reservoir and Dam. Here we learned about the reservoir, its usage, maintenance, and significance to the area. This talk was led by City of Industry City Manager Joshua Nelson and CNC Engineering Director James Cramsey. The next stop was the ranch barn building. On this site, there was an old barn, shop, 2 silos, and a large storage building. Nearby was a more modern, fully operational house on site. Here, local historian Paul Spitzeri discussed some of the history of the ranch, including its past owners and the land usage. We got to explore the area a bit, checking out the buildings and the shop's poisonous residents, a 5 to 6 foot rattlesnake. The last exciting stop of the tour was at the majestic oak tree, an estimated 150 to 200-year-old tree on the south side of the property. Here we had a chance to hear from Dan Hostetler, a retired Cal Poly Pomona professor and department chair, as he discussed the various plants and trees found and utilized on the ranch. As the tour concluded and we retreated back to the Diamond Bar Center where we originally started, we were taken by bus in a tunnel under Grand Avenue, where we were faced with one of the unexpected highlights of the tour: numerous cattle clogging up the tunnel, escaping the late morning heat. We were eventually able to get through, but word has it that later tours might not have had as good of luck getting through. All in all, it was a well thought out and concise tour, bringing local residents up to speed on this previously mysterious piece of land. If you enjoy history, nature, and/or an understanding of what has gone on and what the future holds for the community, I highly encourage you to find your way onto the Tres Hermanos Ranch tour in the future, so you can learn some of the history and appreciate what the Tres Hermanos Conservation Authority is doing to preserve our community. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Chino and the Hills Secrets Exposed, and joining us all on the tour of Tres Hermanos Ranch. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit that like button. I'd appreciate that very much. And consider subscribing to the Thomas Ryan Real Estate YouTube channel, or follow me on Instagram. It is completely free and it's super helpful in getting this information out to you and others in the community. All right, until next time, have a good day. Bye.